Once upon a time, there lived an old man and an old woman. Every morning, they went out to clear a nearby forest of dry twigs and leaves, and the moment they left the house, a white swan would come flying there. She would fold and put aside her wings, and turning into a maid, light the stove, cook the dinner, clean and wash everything, and then fly away again. The old people had not a care in the world, for they would return home each day to find everything done for them. But they were filled with wonder as to who their kind helper was. One day the old man remained home alone. He hid behind a tub and waited to see what would happen. After a time, who would come flying into the hub but a swan? She folded her wings, laid them aside, and turning into a maid, went to a well for water, and the old man at once took the wings and burned them. The maid returned with the 2 pailfuls of water. She looked and saw that her wings were gone. She burst out crying and wept long and bitterly. For this man she was parted from her mother and father and his own dear love too. But there was nothing she could do, so stay she did with the people old. Now the king herself was once out hunting near the forest not far from where they lived. He saw the maid, and he liked her well, and he said, the old people, I have much the maid for my own. Give me to her, and you can have as many pieces of gold you like. There was nothing for it, and the old people gave him the maid. The king brought her to this place and married, and here in due time a son was born to them. One day the queen came out into the garden, and the baby son. And what did she see? A bud of flocks swans come flying there. At there had flew her father singing as they flew. In the garden bright, my daughter see. Though she has no wings, yet a swan is she. Her fingers are covered with golden rings. To her little son a song she sings. From a little gold book she reads him a tale. Her kerchief of silk behind her trails. A pair of white wings to her are fro, and she'll leave her son with us as she'll go. The queen's heart grew heavy. The tears poured from her eyes, and she sang out abruptly, Do not throw me the wings, for you come too late. I won't leave my son to an orphan's fate. Just then the king came up to her. Why your eyes red weeping? Asked he. Our little son cried, and it made me cry too, the queen replied. On the next day her mother flew over her, and on the days that followed her brother and her sisters, and they all sang the same song, but the queen refused to heed of them. The last to come flying over her was her own dear love, and he sang and he flew. In that garden bright, my beloved I see, though she has no wings, yet a swan is she. Her fingers are covered with golden rings. To her little son a song she sing. From a little gold book she reads him a tale. Her kerchief of silk behind her trails. A pair of white wings to her I'll throw, and her son she'll leave, and with me she'll go. The queen could not contain herself no longer, and sang out in reply, A pair of wings throw down to me, and with you I'll fly beyond the sea. The swan, who was her own dear love with, threw a pair of wings down to her, and she left her son and flew away with him. But he met his death, soon after, and her heart filled with sorrow again. As for the king her husband, he waited and waited for her, but as she did not come back, married Loma the witch. The stepmother took a dislike to her stepson and treated him badly. But the swan, his mother would come flying to the peace of night, fold her wings, wash and fondle her son, and then fly away again singing. The king and his wife repose in the bed. The palace guards too sleep and sleep on the bed. But the night fell my son stops the walls. But before flying away, she would lull her son to sleep, and he would not wake till she come back again. The king was filled with wonder as to why his son slept so long. One night he saw the swan come flying into the peace. She changed into a human shape, lulled her son to sleep, and then turned back again into a swan and flew away. The king thought and thought how to keep her with him, could not think again. Once they came to the place, and the old man and the king asked him what he was to do in order to catch the swan. Said the old man, "Watch and see which of the windows the swan flies out of. Put him tar on the sill. Her wings will be glued to it, and if you seize her with the left hand and tear them off your right hand, she will come back her human shape again." The king did as the old man said. He put some tar on the window sill, and when the swan wings were glued to it, seized her with his left husband, and tore him with her right hand, and so the swan turned into his own dear queen again. The queen had Lizima the witch put to death, and 3 days after that he held a great feast, of which came folk from the far or near. I was there too, and was served meat and ale, but it ran down my beard, and not dropped a glot at the mouth.